I need a quick second, and we're coming up to 8, so how about this? How about I go take a quick break, take my headphones off, and you tell everyone about your Kickstarter and how cool it is, and how you are past 50%. Woo! I think you're at 52 at last I checked?
51 and some change.
Yes.
So I am...
All right, I'll be right back.
Thank you, Kimmy, for redeeming the shill your wares. As many of you know, I'm running a Kickstarter for my comic, The Punchline is Death. This is the comic that I've been digitally releasing to my Patreon patrons exclusively for like 2 years now. And this is a collection of all of the comics that I have written so far, including some that didn't actually go up on the Patreon, I think, just because I made them as one-off jokes and forgot to post them anywhere. And so, and I'd love to put them on the Patreon, but here's the funny thing. I don't actually know which ones they are. So, as Jared mentioned, as of today, we are officially over 50% funded. We have 5 days left to go, so it's getting close to the wire here. Not gonna lie, very nervous. Have been nervous the whole time. I've explained this to everyone, is that like how Kickstarters tend to work is there's a spike of funding in the beginning, it tapers off, it like plateaus for a bit, and then it spikes up at the end. And so I'm really hoping that continues on. I've been following one of the Kickstarters that we talked about during Jer's thing.
I'm back.
Lately. You're back. Burnt Sand got funded.
I've been
following that one pretty closest.
I was actually going to mention that, Burnt Sand was one of the really cool ones. One of the ones I really liked. That's bubbled up in this whole project, but
yeah, I actually sort of last minute scrounged up some money in my budget to give it a little bit of a...
Oh, nice! Yeah,
so,
they were coming in really close, and I like one day left, they had a long jump to go, but then
and they did it?
Yeah, with 205 to spare,
with
58 backers. Frickin', I'm actually super excited about this one. It's like, yeah. When I mentioned when I was talking about it that this is a person that has an idea, and they need to get this idea out. So yeah, I am super excited that made it. I was just a little worried, but I didn't need to be. They nailed it.
So yeah, we're 50% funded. 51 and some change, like I said. I guess one thing I don't think I've talked on stream before is it's kind of collected into 2.5 acts. There's the first act, which I originally posted to Webtoons. Some of you have the shitty hand-stapled flip book that I love. Don't get me wrong, I say it's shitty, but I love it because it's shitty. So it contains that story arc all nicely cleaned up for new printing. And that's the story about me defeating my high school self, and particularly about how I ended up dealing with the immense crush I had on, a girl I met in high school, and how I just was in love with her for 10 goddamn years, and it really just ruined any chance I had at a relationship in that time.
Yep.
And I think
it's a growing
it's a really
up story, honestly, especially for like emotional fellows like us, like learning to just cope with those feelings, that unrequited stuff. It's like, it is a tough journey when you're a young man with big emotions, feeling big things for people for the first time. That's tough to get over. Because and it's one of the reasons why I mentioned this. Like, I went through a similar journey, having to learn to let go of unrequited emotions, and it was tough.
Yeah. I'm really proud of the story. I really hope I can bring it to print and share it with everyone. Share it with more people than I already have. I also, not gonna lie, this one more than any other project I've done does somewhat
make you live.
I kind of need this one to go through for my own reasons. Thank you very much, Rock and Hawk.
Get in. Let's go.
Yeah, I appreciate that. Thank you.
Love it.
So yeah. I'm really excited for this one too. It's at this rate, it's like sort of like I'm like I've been having this conversation, and it's one of those weird things that's still hard for me to talk about, given a lot of my fans are friends and vice versa.
Yeah.
I was talking about this last time, and that like, it is always better the sooner the funding comes in, because that that convinces Kickstarter to put more eyes on your thing, and that convinces other people like, oh yeah, this one's doing well. Like I'm gonna toss a few more money to this to get it closer. But I also like being a human with friends who have varying financial needs. Like, no, donate when you can, and don't stress out about it. It's my job to stress out about it, not yours.
I mentioned this earlier in that, like, and it's part of why I do the Kickstarter thing that I'm going to do in a second, is that, like, if you can't afford to, like actually put money at it, just put it on your social media and let a few more people get a few more eyes on it, right? Like, there are more ways than dollars to support an active Kickstarter. And so, yeah, if you can't support Kyle or any Kickstarter, but you want to, then share it. Make some noise about it, and then just a couple more eyes get on the project, and maybe one of those people backs it, or one of those people shares it, and it's just that pushing just a little bit farther out. That like that's how these projects get done, and it's cool.
And I definitely like I the part of me that is like conscious and thinking like logically is very much like you're doing fine. Like I've got lots of eyes on it. I've got people who have said they're going to back, and it's just a matter of time before they do. So my real number is likely better than the number it says now.
Most Kickstarters do follow a kind of like pattern, where it's like a lot of stuff in the beginning, kind of trails out and gets a little bit mellow in the middle, and then it spikes up near the end. And they almost all follow that pattern, and it's one of the reasons why, because as I've been like looking at other Kickstarters, comic Kickstarters especially, a lot of people think that a long runtime is going to help them. And
it's really provably doesn't super do that.
Yeah, Kickstarter has research about what the best time and about that 3-week period is spot on. And it's because of that U shape. And so when something draws out for a long time, you lose a lot of that activity and engagement of the people that were on that first side of the U. And if you are going to do something that long, what you want is a solid plan of a schedule of like, I'm going to promote it here on this date and here on this date and here on this date. So don't just throw it up for 2 months thinking that's going to solve the problem. It's really, really not. And I'm watching more and more of these happen, and it is always going to follow that U shape.
I also so there was one in particular I was watching this is a while back. A musician I quite like, Eliza Rickman, was doing one for a music video, and it very much followed the U shape, but she had like a 2-month, maybe even 3-month long campaign, and it still followed the first week big spike, last week big spike model.
Yeah.
And following her on social media and like being honestly like just 1 or 2 circles away from her, like personally, her increasing anxiety state, the anxiety I'm feeling right now of like, okay, the numbers are only going up a little bit and I need to go up a lot of it. Like, I'm just imagining that going on for 2 months.
Yeah,
and
I'm actually gonna take Shiny Zubats made a joke where it's just like, I can make it as long as I want, and I'm sorry Zubats, but I'm gonna take that into serious places. Yes, you can, but have a plan if you do. Yeah. And I think like that's just it, is that like if you are going to deviate from what the research says, this is the best length for this is usually what the most successful rate is, then put the solidest of plans and put a schedule together. I'm sorry to sandbag your joke, because that is adorable. But we are actually trying to like be real about this, because I think like Cal's got an active Kickstarter, and I'm doing the Kickstarter project, and we kind of want to we want people to succeed, you know?
Yeah.
Hey, should I do my thing?
Yeah, go for it.
Hey, guys, let's talk about some Kickstarters.